listen, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sports talk from your favorite sports fam. I'm Big Q chiming in, and we got some special guests chiming in on this episode of the show. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Please feel free to hit the like button. We got some diehard Minnesota Viking family members in the stream representing their squad. We got Onebar and Lupagus. They're in the building, man. Shout out to you guys. Thank y'all for joining in here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, Big Q, appreciate it, man. We got to step up our intro game. That intro was fantastic. So I feel a little bad coming on right now.
I was just twerking here. It was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was wonderful, man. Hats off to you.
Yeah. Well, shout out to you guys, man. Thank y'all for chiming in, man. Listen, family, these guys know what they're talking about, man. Listen, I was watching some of their podcasts, man. These guys, they're funny to watch, man. They're hilarious, man. So check out these guys when you get opportunity. Onebar and Lupagus, man. They're funny as hell, man, and they diehard guys. They know what they're talking about. So, guys, welcome on in. I won't get all the family members in. Feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show, link on your social media feed. Let them all know we in the building on Tuesday, on Patreon Tuesday. We're doing our thing. But in this with family, listen, we're going across the pond after it's been abysmal over the last couple of weeks for the black and gold people. Not so much for the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings sitting up at 2-1. They had a fantastic come from behind win over Campbell and those feisty Detroit Lions that happened. That was one of the more entertaining games. So, I mean, listen, the Vikings are feeling pretty good. And remember, the Vikings have been quite the nemesis for us in the playoffs over the last several years. I don't want to break up any demons, but I'm just keeping it $1.15. So, fellas, first of all, welcome on in and talk to us about the Minnesota Vikings in this matchup. Y'all feeling pretty good going across the pond, but let's hear what's your thought process on what needs to happen to get a successful win against this team. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think you mentioned the first thing is across the pond. That's the big unknown. That's the big mystery. That's the big neutralizer. You just don't know. I think the Saints are already there, I believe. I think they left like yesterday. Vikings aren't going until Friday. So you talk two very different windows for when you're over there. So that's the big unknown in this one, is just who's going to adjust well. Some of these London games just end up being snooze fest and ugly games. So hopefully we don't see one of those. But as far as the Vikings and what they have to do to win this thing, my biggest concerns as far as what we should be concerned about, our cornerback play has been sketchy. Cam Dantzler especially has struggled. I know Chris Olave just went off last week. You got Michael Thomas in there. So if Winston is on his game, which I know Jameis Winston, is hit or miss, but if he's on and he's taking advantage of Cam Dantzler, that's one issue that does worry me when we face the Saints here overseas.
Yeah, you're right, Lupagus, man. Jameis has definitely been, if you look at his statistics right now, bro, he's 7th in the NFL in the passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 35.2 on the rate, man. That's not a good look, man. To be honest with you guys, we got to definitely work on that. And that is one of the major questions that we be getting from the Who Dat Nation is the play of Jameis, but he's playing with all of this, the vertebrae issues, 4 broken vertebrae in his back, an ankle issue. And the question is constantly asked to me, Q, what do you think about this? Should we move to Andy Dalton and all this kind of stuff? But this game will be a tall tale sign of if Jameis, it's a pain tolerance thing, as Dennis Allen was saying with him. He got to heal on the fly. So, man, it's got to be something. They got to show me something this matchup, man. But Onebar, what's your thoughts, my friend?
Well, I mean, an 8:30 game for us here, so we'll be drinking beer real early that day, which is always a win-win situation. But
what you drinking, Onebar? What you got, man?
I don't stray from Miller Lite. Miller Lite, a lot of them,
okay.
And I can't wait. I cannot wait. But Lupagus pretty much nailed it. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. I mean, if you put Dalton in there, Winston, it doesn't matter when it comes to the Vikings. We're going to let the quarterback get some yards and score some points anyways. But looking at your offensive weapons, I mean, you guys know who you have. I could see you guys just possibly absolutely going off. I mean, coming out, the Vikings are known for giving up big games all of a sudden to anybody and everybody. And you look at what we've done defensively. Lupagus alluded to this, but our secondary, I mean, our defense against the pass, against the rush has been absolutely dog crap through 3 games. We're 2-1, but it sure the hell isn't because of our defense. So your offensive side of the ball is pretty scary for me.
Yeah, man. They have a lot, man. It's a lot going on, man. There was some reports, even though the official injury report hasn't been released until Wednesday. I mean, there was this family from the Ian Rappaport. He kind of tweeted this out. That both will have tests today, but based on the initial diagnosis, it appeared that the injuries to wide receivers Michael Thomas, which he left the game with a toe issue, and Jarvis Landry, which was a foot or serious. Landry's dealing with soreness, and while Thomas is not the same foot as his previous ankle. So, man, listen, I'm hoping that it's not as bad. It looks good, but Michael Thomas, we'll know tomorrow what's going on with these guys and Jarvis Landry. Chris Olave does look good, but there's still a lot of stuff that we need to do. But let's get into some of the statistics, guys, because I have some of your stats here tuned up here. We can go over some of the team statistics here. Give me just a second. I thought I had your screen. There it is. All right, here's the screen on it right here, fellas. We're looking at Kirk Cousins in this matchup. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. To go through the season right now, good enough to get you 2-1. But if you go down here to the team statistics, the Vikings 19.3, the defense giving up 18.3. You look at the passing, 356.3 there, 253 through the air, 103.4 on the ground, which is 104. You might as well kind of add it all. And then you look at the defense. The defense is statistically through the first 3 games is giving up 428 yards per game, 290 flat through the secondary, and 138 on the ground, fellas. So,
gross.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of rough there through 3 games. And I know we haven't got through a full season of football, but how those statistics hit you?
Right in the balls. They hurt.
Right in the baby maker, man. It is ugly on defense. It is ugly.
And it's weird because week 1, the game plan was so great. Corners were playing up on the receivers of the Packers, jamming them, being physical, being aggressive. Then we go to Monday night, we're playing 10, 15 yards off, giving them these huge open windows. I mean, hell, any of us 3 could have completed passes against that defense. Mm-hmm. And then the problem on top of that, the loose coverage on the back end, which we ran against the Lions as well, we're not getting pressure up front. We got Zadarius Smith, Daniil Hunter. Those 2 should be an absolute menace, should be unblockable coming off the edge. And they've been blockable. We've been rushing 4 most of the time, and we just aren't getting home. And that's, to me, is the biggest shock in this defense, is that those 2 are just not creating more pressure and getting more sacks.
Yeah, we got Daniil Hunter dropping back in coverage 20 yards for some damn reason that we have no idea why. Maybe it's because our cornerbacks have sucked so bad. But a lot of questions on this defense. We signed Horrible Harry. We got Dalvin Tomlinson up front. We can't stop the run. Ed Donatil, new defensive coordinator. I mean, Lupagus and I talk about it all the time, but I think this is going to be a work in progress as far as bringing this defense together. Not only do we have a lot of new faces, but we have a new defensive coordinator. So I think they're early in the season. Teams like the Saints could definitely take advantage of some guys that are just kind of wondering what the hell to do.
Yeah, well, like we talked about before we started. I mean, this defense has given up a lot of yards. They have given up a lot of points, but they do step up when they need to. A goal line stand, a 4th down stand against the Packers. They had some big stops against the Lions. They played much better in that disgrace, the Philadelphia pounding, we call it here on our show, the Monday night. But the second half was much better. So this defense, as bad as it's been, it has risen up and stood tall and stood firm when it has to.
You know what, guys? I was like I said, I was looking at footage from the Lions game with you guys, and the team plays with heart. I tell you that much. They play with a lot of heart, in the game, to be able to do that, to come from behind, because I thought it was most certainly over, and they came from behind, because we had a similar, I guess, in week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons, when we were down, and then we came back and put 17 points on the Falcons in the fourth quarter to steal the game from them in their own building, which is one of the sweetest moments of the season and the very few ones that we actually have. So let's look at that. Let's talk about some of the players you guys talk about. Obviously, from offense, we know, guys, you have some exceptional talent on offense. We know about guys like Justin Jefferson. He's an LSU guy. I'm an LSU guy. Devin Cook, I always loved Devin Cook when he came. I just can't stay healthy. To me, he's a fantastic player. Adam Thielen is just a hell of a wide receiver. But talk to me, guys, about some of the guys that you think that you need to be positive in this game, or some dominant rough guys or step up guys that you need to play positive to secure the win.
Let's start up front. I mean, our offensive line is kind of shocking Minnesota right now. We knew they were going to be a little bit better, but Darrisaw has been completely fantastic. O'Neal, as we know, is always good, but rookie Ed Ingram's playing okay. Garrett Bradbury, who has been the worst center in the league over the last couple of years, is playing well. So our offensive line has been kind of an underdog, but other than the big guys you mentioned, I mean, KJ Osborne scoring that game-winning touchdown, he's always a very sneaky play. Irv Smith has been mildly disgusting, but one guy you keep your eye on come Sunday, that's Johnny freaking Munt, baby.
Johnny Munt.
Johnny Munt. Let's go.
All right. You think he might be the guy replacing Smith, don't you think, fellas? Is that what you
I don't know.
He might be. I mean, Irv's had some hands issues. He can never stay healthy. Now he can't catch the ball on top of it. We might not have Delvin Cook. We don't know. He dislocated his shoulder against the Lions, so his status is up in the air. We do have Alexander Madison, who's a very capable back. Doesn't have the vision or burst of Delvin Cook, but he had a beautiful run, that 3-yard touchdown run. I think he broke off about 4 tackles. You mentioned Justin Jefferson. Great game against the Packers. He's been quiet the last 2 games. I mean, the Lions were pretty much triple covering him, which led to KJ Osborne getting wide open. So don't sleep on KJ Osborne. This guy, me and Onebar wrote this guy off after his rookie year. We thought he was going to be cut. One of the biggest busts in recent Vikings memory. Comes out of nowhere to have a breakout season last year. And this dude just steps up and makes plays when he has to. Kirk Cousins loves him. So KJ Osborne, if you guys are going to double or triple Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne is to be a guy who's going to be open. So you can't cover everybody. Just a matter of Kirk Cousins finding the open guy.
Yeah, he averaging 11.2 yards per grab, fellas. We got to keep our eye. Got that guy every time he catches the ball, gives you more than the first down. That's definitely somebody you need to pay attention to. So I mean, I was getting some. I was looking at the offensive line. Yeah, Ed Ingram, another LSU guy right there. So I mean, I know about Jefferson. I remember some of the plays that Justin Jefferson had last year. That from Kirk Cousins. Let me ask you guys about Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins has a reputation around the league as a guy that can't win the big game. Well, he did against us. I guess that kind of started, kind of broke away some of that myth. But has Kirk Cousins lived up to the expectation? Didn't you guys just give him some more money this past off season? How do you like his production so far?
Go ahead, Lopez.
We're both Kirk supporters. We have been. We're pretty open with our support of Kirk Cousins. The thing is, even last year, he brought the Vikings back many times to games where they should have won. It was the defense that blew these games. The Vikings, I think they had like 6 games where they lost in the final 30 seconds. So it wasn't Kirk Cousins. I mean, there was probably 3-4 games where Kirk Cousins played like ass, and he's the reason we lost. But it's not always. It's pretty rarely where it's actually Cousins' fault. So he kind of melted down the Eagles game. I think they just got away from the run. They're kind of forcing things to Justin Jefferson. That kind of got gross and out of hand. But Cousins is a hell of a quarterback, super durable. This guy took a beating the last couple of years. He always gets back up. He's got big, thick, wide mom hips, and it keeps him safe. It keeps him steady. He's as reliable as you get, and he's got great rapport with Jefferson and with Thielen and with KJ Osborne. And I'm definitely a Kirk Cousins guy. I think he's a guy who can win us a lot of games. he does get that reputation, fair or not, but he does kind of shrivel up and go flaccid under the big lights. So that is a problem.
Wow, that was graphic. And I'll piggyback on that. Like, you just gotta, Lupagus and I think we're just realistic with them. There's people, Vikings fans, that think he should be a top 5 quarterback. He's never going to be a top 5 quarterback. I think we both agree somewhere in that like 11 to 14 range of the best quarterbacks. So that's why I think we deal with Kirk Cousins just fine. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I'm glad he's here. I think he gives us a chance to win. One thing you'll realize come Sunday, bright and early, is usually you're going to know what kind of Kirk Cousins you get real early in the game. If he comes out flat, that's pretty much what you're going to get. But if he comes out fiery, be careful, because he's ready to rip.
Yeah. If he's saying dang and frick, you guys are in for a long
day. He doesn't swear. So if you see him molding a swear word, you guys are done.
Yeah. So some of the family was saying he's a big faith guy. Kirk Cousins is a good guy. Yeah, he's saying he's a big faith guy. But yeah, that's the interesting dynamic about the Minnesota Vikings club is Kirk Cousins, his maturation in the system. And we know Kirk's in his mid-30s right now. So but yeah, he has y'all have given him an interesting toolkit in the offense to deal with Jefferson and Thielen and Delvin Cook. But this is the thing, dealing with the Saints and the Vikings. Now we were able to get I think I think it was the last regular season matchup with you guys. I think the damn playoffs have been the problem with the Minnesota Vikings. The freaking miracle game that happened several years ago, which was distasteful to me. The guy puts his head down and just whiffs at he took out his own player to his credit to stop him from pursuing your guy.
And then I watched it a few times.
Yeah, I bet you did. And then, of course, in the last one, of course, it was the tight end pushing off. And, of course, you guys probably don't see it as a push off in the end zone to catch the final touchdown, in which the NFL or the referees refused to review, which all touchdowns are supposed to be reviewed. But that one, whatever reason, wasn't reviewed. You can see my distaste for these things is quite evident. But with that being said, when we play the Vikings in the regular season, it's always a bit, even back before then, guys, when we go back in the day, when we used to play the Vikings in the olden days, when they used to beat us in the playoffs, our first playoff matchup was against the Minnesota Vikings. What was it? Who was it? Anthony Carter, matter of fact. And I think Kramer was your quarterback. I forgot who the quarterback was.
Sounds
you guys
right.
remember that?
That was
right. And this is the long history of the Saints and the Minnesota Vikings up until this point. So we got a bit of a, I'd say, rivalry going, but I guess that's more of a rivalry than the Tampa Bay bullcrap when we just pushed them over. But this game here with these guys, we want to beat the Vikings. We got to beat the Vikings. Jameis Winston and the offense for the Saints have to find a rhythm. We have not been able to find a rhythm besides sporadically in the fourth quarter. I don't know what's going on in the fourth quarter. We seem to always say, oh, hey, you know what? We're losing right now. We better start playing some football. And then the touchdowns come, but we have to be able to manufacture that through the game. So my hesitancy about the Minnesota Vikings is I think the offense is still dangerous. Justin Jefferson can go off. Thielen catches every damn thing you throw to him. Madison is still a north-south runner who can still get something done. So we have to be able to neutralize and stop you guys from running the ball, put pressure on Kirk Cousins. And then, of course, I'm watching out for Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, even though he might not have done anything right now, I mean, in recent up to his standards, but listen, that guy is a hell spawn. He's given us problems before in the past, and we don't want to see Danielle Hunter get to hunting on the Saints quarterbacks and any damn thing. So we don't want to see that, guys. So we're gonna have to one-dimensionalize you. What's your thought process on what you need to do to get the win against the Saints? What guys in particular are you worried about?
Onebar, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I think if our defense doesn't show up, I think we're in trouble. So I don't know how. I mean, your offensive line on paper, when I look at it, looks pretty good. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Danielle Hunter needs to get after it, and Zadarius Smith needs to get after it. Harrison Smith appears to be that he's going to be playing. He needs to be playing. So I think it's really going to come down to our defense. I mean, Kamara, we've definitely had our issues with him in the past. So we need to shut down that run game, something we haven't done yet. But it all comes down to the pass rush, and we cannot play the way we have the first 3 games. I mean, against Philly was gross. Detroit, we got the late win, but it was not pretty. We need to play like we did week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, where it just all came together. And it's funny you mentioned the Saints rivalry over the years, because, I mean, even though we've gotten you in the playoffs a few times, Me and Lupagus are not Saints fans at one damn bit, but I will say it's gotten a little bit. Now that Sean Payton's gone, I will say that I
was going to say the same thing. Butchins over there. Yeah, and he forgets to mention the old Bountygate game. So I don't know how you talk about the push off. Like, oh, really? You don't mention Bountygate of all things. Okay. Yeah,
thanks,
to me,
thanks for reminding me of that, Lupagus.
I'm worried about our coverage, especially Cam Dancer. He really struggled last week. And look at Shannon Sullivan in the slot. He's been an issue. Patrick Peterson's been our best cover corner. He's like 46 years old. But Onebar mentioned it. We got to get after the quarterback. We have to get pressure on Jameis Winston. He will make mistakes. He will throw interceptions. I think that could ultimately be what's swinging this game the purple way is Jameis Winston's play, good or bad. So he's going to have open receivers. Let's just hope we can pressure him to make some bad decisions.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, we kind of hoping against that, guys. We're hoping this week right here leads to better results than what we've been seeing over the last several weeks here. I mean, besides offense has been very sporadic. I think the defense is opportunistic. I think the defense is getting on where they're supposed to be. I think our special team struggled this last game. Will Lutz missed 2 field goals, well, one of which was blocked. He missed another one. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff the Saints have to get together in this in this third matchup here. So, the fourth matchup. So, I mean, look, I'm all over the place because I'm just shook up about the fact that I'm really thinking that the Saints offense, it's just no way to just look at it. I can't pinpoint one particular person outside of, just the whole damn unit. We have to do a better job of running the ball. We have to do a better job. Although we did protect Jameis from sacks, he only had one last week, but he still got hit 9 times. And he's wearing triple padding on his back with 4 broken vertebrae, and they're saying it's a question of tolerance. So I mean, listen, I'm gonna just say this off bat: is that if Jameis doesn't perform and offense doesn't get to where we think they should be with all the money they spent on him, it's not going to look good for Jameis and the offense. Period. If they don't come up with a win in London, man. So. But anyway, guys, listen, man, I'd like to thank you guys for jumping up on here and talking about the game. Can you guys come back for a recap game, win, lose, or draw sometimes after the game?
Oh, I'm sure we'll be game. We might be talking funny, but we'll be game for that.
That's all right. I'll be slurring with you. But go ahead, guys.
Awesome.
Talk to the platform. Let them know where they can find you guys at in your social medias and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Twitter, at Lupagus, at Onebar and Lupagus, and actually at Onebar Lupagus. There's no end in there. At Onebar Lupagus, the 2 Twitter handlers. Onebar, you're at Onebar.
Yeah, YouTube, find us Onebar and Lupagus show. You'll find us. We're on multiple times a day talking about anything and everything Vikings, and we'll be talking about the Saints game and the Wyatt Davis redemption game. That's what we should tote this thing. Wyatt Davis, Eric Wilson.
Bring him up.
You guys got a ton of ex-Vikings on your squad that I did not realize.
Oh yeah. We take it's quite a few, man. I'm like actually Eric. You guys had Eric up there, the linebacker there. We got Eric. We love him down here, man. He just, for whatever reason, he's not on our active roster. He's on our practice squad. We actually love that guy, man. When he came down here during the mini camp in the preseason, man, he fit right in. He kind of made us forget with his play about Quan Alexander a little bit. So he's a fantastic player. He got a big, bright-eyed bushiness kind of energy that's infectious, man, in the building. So it's just love seeing Eric Wilson, man. And, of course, y'all guys know about Latavius Murray. Hopefully we can get him going against you guys.
Oh, yeah. We love those guys.
All right, guys. So, listen, man, you heard I like to give a big shout-out to the guys, Lupagus and Onebar, man. They're very entertaining. And the guys, they like beer, and I like beer, too. So there you go, man. We're gonna celebrate one way or the other. Early. It's gonna be early in the morning too. So hey, we got to get it going.
Beer mosas.
We're in.
It is. All right, guys. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, and the rest of the fam. Appreciate y'all for joining us as well. Please feel free to join these men's. Go to Lupagus and Onebar show. Join their social media, man, and check them out, man. They're real entertaining. All right, guys. We're gonna holler at y'all later. Peace, and for the family members that's dealing with that want to hear us on the Pelicans, will be going over to the Pelican side of things. We'll be talking NBA basketball on the Pelican post game report stream. So feel free to join us tonight Just go to Pelican Post Game Report on YouTube and come on over there. We'll be talking about Zion Williamson. We plan all interviews and be reacting to the media day. So shout out to the fam, and we'll holler at you later. Thank you, guys. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that to.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.